G'day guys, and today Shorty and I are going to review the game which is between Geelong and North Melbourne. At Etihad Stadium, it was the Cats getting across the line with a big comeback, winning by 1 point. I don't pull out my voice with you, mate. It's a little bit sore after the game. A little bit of yelling and screaming, as you'd expect, in what was a frustrating performance for most of the day. And the Cats didn't get in front until about the last minute of the game, and North led the whole game up until then. And what a momentous victory, and what a relief. Big win.
Yeah, mate. No, we all saw you yelling and screaming on the TV. Don't you worry. We all saw that little close up of you. It was fun, but
too much airtime for me, I think, mate.
yeah, no, look, it was certainly a tough old game for us. Again, those lapses within matches, which, we often talk about. They again arose today. Obviously, our best footy is great. When we string it together, we can be nearly unstoppable. But this difference in gaping void between our best footy and worst footy is still pretty big, which is concerning. But, if you're looking at the positives, obviously, as a North Melbourne supporter, you'd be fuming to let that one slip. And for us, we could look back and see how crucial those 4 points could be come season's end. Sometimes we focus so much on what games towards the end of the season have in relevance to the ladder that we can't forget these early games. Sometimes they do get forgotten, but I think we can look back at this one and just say, gee, thank goodness we got over the line against North Melbourne in the final minute, because it could be the difference from a top 4 spot, top 8 spot, you never know. But look, it was good to get the win, I suppose, and I guess once more we know our best footy is really good, but still plenty of question marks around why we have those lapses, why you can come out so flat, and the ruck department is a little bit concerning as well. And Harry Taylor debate rolls on, and you were at the game, you'll have a better idea than me, but I listened to most of it and caught a few glimpses late, but certainly a few question marks still, but I think the main thing to take away from it was the 4 points, really. I don't think we'll be writing a stack of other positive headlines. Perhaps some of the lesser ones standing up late. Holland Smith, while reports, was pretty impressive, particularly late. A few different things, but once again, it was Dangerfield and Selwood, really, particularly Dangerfield, just looked to go to another level, particularly in the second half, which he has gears. The best players have gears, and he stepped it up a notch. So, anyway, mate, you give me your thoughts, because you saw it right up and close from row E, so give us your thoughts.
Well, you won't be getting my 3 votes, mate, that's for sure. But, look, it was a frustrating game to watch. You can just see on the Facebook wall, it was pretty frustrating on that shot there. But look, basically all I take out of it is literally 4 points. I don't expect North Melbourne to be bottom 4, but they're not going to be too close to the top 8. So I don't rate them as a side, and you rate them worse than I do. So it was just good to get the win. As you said, mate, it'll be very important come season's end. One win can, as we've seen, make a difference between top 4 and 7th or 8th, as we saw last year. And Hawthorn beating Collingwood, they were 6th and they were 3rd and 4th. So it's it can be very, very contentious come the end of the year. But onto the game, I suppose. Look, we didn't come out with a great mindset early, and I said to the old man before the game, and yourself, I think over text, it's just a matter of coming out with the right mindset, and then the results will take care of themselves. And it couldn't have started off any worse. I think they kicked 4 reasonably quickly, and we just looked off the pace. And 13 tackles in the first half. You text me that as well, and I was like, oh my god, really? Only 13? Yeah, and it showed really. Whenever they had the footy for most of the game, in particular the first half, they just had time and space to do whatever they pleased, and our defenders looked horrible. But your old man was saying that, and I said, I think that's because the midfield isn't really giving them a chop out. They're not applying any pressure up the field, which is then making the defenders even more nervous than they should be, because the kicks are coming in under no pressure at all. And yeah, so tackles equals mindset, vice versa. You got to have that. That's just an essential part, and that's what was really positive in our win the week before. We had tackled Fremantle. We were, frenetic around the ball. The pressure was high, but against North, I don't know if they were too quick or we were just off, or a bit from column A, a bit from column B, but they just tore us a new one around the ground. The ruck situation was annoying too. Stanley didn't go up in the ruck half the time, and there was unattended ruck setups where no one would go up, and then Prowse would just palm it down to a player, and they'd just get out of their defensive 50. Our pressure in the forward 50 was horrible for most of the game. Like, they just ran it out with ease, once again, pointing to the tackle count and lack of pressure. Centre clearances were decent. And, your old man loves to say we handball too much, and it did put us in a fair bit of trouble a lot of the game. There was just areas where it was bleedingly obvious that we could have kicked it when a guy is streaming out of the middle, and then they elect a handball. Duncan and Dangerfield can do it a bit, and then they give it to a guy that's either standing still and then puts him under more pressure, or giving it to a worse distributor. It just makes sense for Duncan or Dangerfield just kicking inside 50. Those are just examples where they may have during the game, but yeah, it's just, and you kick it in quickly and you have a good kick, it puts defenders under pressure. So yeah, we failed to execute that for most of the afternoon, but again, yeah, it was good to have contributors late from lesser likes, a la Lang, and also Horn Smith chimed in with a couple, but yeah, Dangerfield and Sell weren't playing, or Hawkins, we'd be in a lot of trouble. Yeah, look, I'm happy to not lose, relieve more than anything, I suppose. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting, isn't it? I mean, the real takeaway point is, how do we have such a massive difference from our best and worst in one game? I mean, good sides are capable of changing the flow of the game and stepping it up when they need to, which we clearly have that. I mean, we have an element of good side, but also good sides don't allow poor sides to start the way they did. And look, credit to North Melbourne, sure, maybe if they had a kick straight against West Coast, they could have dealt out a similar blow to West Coast early, but I really thought we could have stamped our authority against a young side early and stamped them out. And I think, we can't afford to have that, because against good sides, once again, we revert back to the prelim disaster. That'll happen. So
Yeah, yep.
It's good to know that we have that gear to go to and can step it up and kick goals in a flurry. But we're not going to trouble too many top four sides, let alone anyone in September, if you lose concentration or lapse in games for extended periods. So probably the main concern comes out of the game with something that isn't that new to us. So it's another old problem that we'll need to sort out.
Yeah, he went into the game pretty confident, mate, and probably reasonably deserving so. But yeah, I guess just highlighting my scepticism. I haven't seen enough body of work for Geelong yet to be confident on a week-to-week basis until they give me a reason to believe so. But yeah, lucky to get the win, I suppose, mate. We'll take the 4 points, eh?
Yeah, most definitely.
Go into the votes, though, and it'll be interesting to see how you saw them. And I hope Dangerfield doesn't get the 3, mate. But they're your votes, so go for it.
Yeah, well, mate, you got to put a bit of a disclaimer and asterisk in front of it, because I didn't see the game, but look, I am giving Danger the 3.
Oh, no.
Probably tell me how much he turned it over and things like that. But listening to it on the radio, they were raving about him, and I did miss a little bit in the third quarter, but I mean, I'm just going to give him a 3 because he was outstanding for us. 37 touches and seemed to do it in clutch stages, particularly late. Even just that gather, such a clean gather in the last 30 seconds is outstanding. But look, you saw the game, you might argue the point. 2 votes to Selwood for similar reasons. He just seems to stand up when we need him. The old firm, they continue to do so. And I gave the 1 vote to Menzel. He kicked 4 majors. Not sure what else he did. Just heard him get involved a little bit, but good to see him kick a few goals. I saw Hawkins did likewise, but yeah, Duncan I think was reasonable as well. Maybe a couple others too, which I think Mackie continues reasonable form. But I'm more interested to hear your votes, mate, because as I've said, hard to get a feel of the game unless you're watching it with your own eyes. So, how did you see it?
Yeah, a bit differently. I went the 3 votes for Mitch Duncan. He got the 24 touches, 7 marks, 5 tackles, and he kicked a nice goal from about 55. It was really clean, and we often say that about him. And I think he just genuinely used the ball well. Was good in the contest, provided some great tackles and some great pressure, and probably one of the cleanest players we had. So he gets the 3. I've gone the 2 votes to Dan Menzel, who got 14 touches, 8 marks, which is the most we have for the game. Got a tackle in there and kicked 4 goals, which were, I believe, probably pretty crucial times. And it was a major presence up forward and looked really dynamic up there. I wish I could give some votes for Hawkins, but he was so undisciplined, even though he did kick 4 and did a very nice job. And I'll give the 1 vote to Paddy Dangerfield. Got a lot of the ball and won me some money as well. So you got the 37 disposals, 7 marks, 6 tackles, and also kicked a goal, which was a horrible turnover from Zeeble. Again, it's hard not to give him votes, and your old man said I'm not giving him votes for this game if he was. Just sticks to his guns, yeah. If Danger used the ball better, he probably turned over half his possessions. I'll have to have a look at the stats here to see what his disposal was. Yeah, just 62%. He was pretty poor with the ball at times, and obviously the efficiency says so. But yeah, great to rack it up, but there's no point racking up if you turn it over every second time. So, but yeah, his presence was really good, and his contested work was awesome as well. But yeah, he chimes in with 1 this week, mate. Selwood was also very good and enjoyed his game as well. But yeah, those are my votes for the week, mate.
Very good, mate. It's very harsh on Dangerfield, particularly from the dad there. But anyway, we'll discuss that another time.
No, next Friday night sounds good. Yeah, we'll move into the chopping block, mate, and there might be a couple I might be able to help you out with, but I reckon the stats might help you out a little bit there anyway. What do you got for us?
Yeah, I got no idea. Let's be honest. It's hard enough thinking it was good in the game when you don't really see it, let alone who wasn't. So you can try with some names, but I think I'll talk about certainly the ruck department. To get belted by a debutant who didn't know he was playing probably until 24 or 48 hours before the game is pretty embarrassing, really. I mean, Bruce had 46 hit-outs, Stanley just a 17, I think it was, maybe even less, 14 or something like that. And you're going to get beaten by a bloke who is a big fella, he's got 6 or 7 centimetres on Stanley, but you've got to get him around the ground. Both Blitzarves and Stanley, you've got to get him around the ground, particularly Stanley. And he just didn't. He had the same amount of touches as Bruce, and they were all raving about him on debut. And, that'd be colour as well. It'd be concerning. I think I'll certainly take a look at Zach Smith, bringing him back in.
Yeah.
And certainly
Scotty reckons.
Looking to go for that bigger presence in the ruck, just like physically bigger.
Yep.
Obviously, Smith is more your modern-day ruck type, because Stanley is 200 centimetres. He's big, but he's probably going to get beaten by at least a hand to most guys, and that's back-to-back weeks with their monsters in the hit-outs. It didn't necessarily equate to a loss in the clearances, but again, you'd have to see that with your own eyes to tell whether the clearance stats were actually telling the truth and how effective those numbers were. But look, that'll certainly be a talking point. Of course, Harry Taylor moved to defence in the third quarter. Chris Scott sounds like he's almost resigned to the fact that this experiment isn't going to work. I was just watching his press conference before. So I feel like the move where Taylor goes back is inevitable. When that happens, we'll have to wait and see. So that's one to watch. Sam Menengola impressed in the AFL, so
that's good.
He'll certainly press his case. We might be able to shed some light on who could possibly make way, but I think as much as his personnel, it's all about the structure and systems, which obviously let us down at times. But who did you feel maybe didn't have the best day today, mate? Were there a few guys that you think could possibly be on the chopping block?
Yeah, I've got a bit of almost like a bit of a swap around of players and some ins and outs to shape up how the side will look. But I suppose I'll delve into the players first. Josh Cowan is just I don't know. He's a bit of a lost case, really, for mine. He tries to take tackles on, and he's never going to break the tackle. Like, he just bites off more than he can chew, and really, he doesn't hurt you with the ball when he has it. He doesn't hurt you with his pace. I don't know what role this guy plays, really. Is he a winger? Is he a half-backer? And he's just a bit of a liability, in my opinion. I mean, good on you for getting through all your injuries, but really, if he's sixth year of footy, and I know he's had probably might even be sixth year, seventh year of footy. I know he's had a lot of injury, but he's done next to nothing. I hate to say it, but yeah, it's the truth there. So he really needs to lift, or possibly I would have Menegola there, but I'm not sure it's like for like. So that's why they have Cowan over Menegola, but it might be Menegola v Horn Smith for that role. So all depends there. Tom Stewart was okay, but I think if Harry's going back, which Scott will probably, as you said, go back to what worked. And Harry was so much better in the second half when he was putting back in defence. He had a crucial spoil on the wing, which North Melbourne were on. They were going for goal. I'm not sure if you saw it, mate, where he just punched the ball in the air, fell to the deck, and Higgins didn't get a chance to, take that opportunity because Taylor just spoiled so magnificently in that bit. Lang and Hall and Smith at times were just a bit slow, ping-foaling the ball a few times, just not, biting off more they can chew, trying to take the tackler on when they're not the strongest blokes in the world, but some goals late will sort of look well in their favour, and they'll be fine. But just a little frustrating bits there. But you look at that back line, we can't have Stewart, Taylor, Lonergan, Henderson, Mackie. That's 6 tall defenders. You can't have that. And when the ball hit the deck, we looked very, very slow, as you'd expect from all those key defenders there. So my theory is have Stewart out, Taylor down back, put Aaron Black up forward for a few games. I don't expect him to play amazing footy or be the second key tall that's going to help Hawkins, but I think they need to give him a bit of a try. You can't have Stewart in the back line with all those 5 other tall key defenders. So that would be sort of where I'm at. And I'd have Zach Smith in, Reece Stanley probably out. Just give him a little bit of a breather there. Get Smith involved, see what he can do. I'm just looking through the list here, mate, and that's probably where I'd sit with it for this week. I'll stick with that.
Sounds pretty comprehensive, mate. A few familiar names. I think we certainly agree on Cowan there. He's been a guy we've talked about a little bit. And, I think, as I said, I think Taylor's probably never going to go back. And I think those changes, if they don't happen this week, will certainly be ones that they'll do in the near future.
Hope so, bud. But, we'll move on to the game we got next week. It's Etihad Stadium, I believe it is, up against Melbourne. Yep. We got Melbourne 4:30 next Saturday, mates, and the D's got out of jail a little bit against the Blues. They were up early, then Carlton got up for a bit, and then the D's got the chocolates in the end, and so did we, I guess, but very tight on the scoreboard. But they got us in 2015. We smashed them last year when they basically had nothing to play for at home, which was a nice win, over 100 points, back to the old days for the D's, and Paul Roos' worst loss as a coach in his last game. poor man. But look, we'll really be wanting to front up and actually respond and treat this as a loss almost. I would. There's lots and lots of holes to fix up, and Melbourne, if they're on and they bring their mindset as a positive one and hard-working one, they'll make us look very, very, very second rate. So I think we'll need to be at our best, obviously, to win, and I don't go in with much confidence at all based off this week. But look, again, knowing our best footy, we'll beat them. But if we're anything a bit below our best, we could be in for 2-on-1. But yeah, I can't really give a tip, mate. Maybe us. Maybe Melbourne. They're not. I'll go us by 5 points. Yeah, I don't know. But Melbourne's record that he had is probably the only reason I'd say that right now.
Yeah, no, I think that's pretty well summed up. And yeah, certainly thinking on the same lines. And we don't always think exactly the same when it comes to this part of the podcast, but I think we certainly match up here. This will be a great challenge for us. I mean, this is a real game where, you would expect us to beat Freo, you would expect us to beat North, even though it wasn't as convincing. Melbourne is a team that is on the rise and potentially a rapid rise. A bit of a lull against Carlton, but I think the best footy is certainly scary. So, going with certainly a little bit of concern, and just that concern that perhaps we're coming up against a team that is going to be very highly regarded in 12 weeks' time or 12 months' time. You feel as if them being a great side of the comp isn't far off, which leads you to think that the potential for them to produce very good footy when maybe your everyday punter may not think so. They'll just think, the Cats will get them again. But Melbourne are the real deal, particularly for the midfield and the combination with Gawn. And they're a pretty fast sort of side when they start nipping around with the hands, so they can certainly move it quite well. So
some good names.
Their Etihad record, that gives me a little bit of satisfaction, a little bit more confidence. But off that, I'd probably lean towards us. If I was giving a tip, it'd probably be Geelong by 2 or 3 points by the various margins. Like if it's at the G, I'd be saying Melbourne, I think. But we have a great record at Etihad and a good record against Melbourne in general over the last decade or so. But, I think they're going to be tough to beat. I mean, we'll have to, as you say, we'll have to bring our best footy, and if we don't, they could certainly put us to the sword. So they've got a lot of weapons and they've got a lot of young players that may not be household names, but as I said before, I reckon in about 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, they will be. I really do think guys like Oliver and Petrarca and these sort of types, Salem as well, will be players we talk about a lot more in the future when you come up against Melbourne. Right now, people still see them as these young, promising players, but I think promise could turn to potential pretty soon. But hopefully it's not Saturday, but we'll wait and see.
I'm hoping they don't produce a similar performance like they did against the Hawks last year, where they got them in the end by 5 goals, and it was almost like the old being replaced with the potential new. But it'll be a line in the sand game, I suppose, for both clubs really, and it was a line in the sand game for Melbourne today, and I feel like they're going to have a few of them coming up as they are progressing and developing into a good side. So it'll be interesting, and Melbourne will hate that it's at Etihad, but really it should be at Simmons. But that's another debate for another day. Is the ground up and about now, or is it just a matter of finishing up a few things in paperwork? Well, I'm not sure if you're on top of that.
Just the stadium and the works and things, and I think round 9 or something like that is. I don't know whether they're ahead or behind schedule, but I think whatever it is, we sort of had to make the call some time ago when they were doing the fixturing, and maybe they went a little bit more conservative, but there's no games at home for a little bit.
When you don't play at your home turf till round 9.
They'll come in a hurry when they do, at least.
Good point, mate. All right, that's a review, comprehensive review from the Cats North Melbourne game. Geelong getting home by a point, and crazy game, mate. Crazy finish, and how the heck do we win that? I have no idea. Didn't deserve it, but we'll take it. Awesome. All right, so that's it from us, guys. Feel free to give the video a like, share it around, subscribe as well. It'd be awesome, and stick around for more of these. It'll be really appreciated. And thanks for joining today, mate. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, mate. Good stuff today.
Awesome. Thanks for hanging around, guys. We'll catch you on the next one.